thank you all very much for taking your time, for being here on a Sunday. The Cowboy Festival, as you know, is really a celebration of our city's Western heritage and those who have memorialized that heritage throughout Western television and film. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to celebrate a few special men and women who have blazed the trail for America's cinematic history and shaped the city of Santa Clarita through the Western Walk of Stars. This year, 3 additional stars will be added, including Andre and Renaud Veluzat, longtime community residents, absolutely. And Andre and Renaud, I got that. Thank you, Renaud, my bad. Andre, Renaud, and also our other honoree, Bo Hopkins. Bo, they will join 91 other Western legends on this walk, including Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, David Carradine, Sam Elliott, and William S. Hart. So our first honorees today, we want to bring up Andre and Renaud. Andre and Renaud, come on up, guys, come on up. You know, as kids, they marveled at the world of film, and especially Western film. And that fascination stayed with them until adulthood. And after a fire demolished parts of Melody Ranch in 1962, Gene Autry began selling pieces of what was left of the property. In November of 1990, the last 10 acres where the original buildings had stood went on the market. Renaud and Andre, along with their father Paul, purchased it and restored Melody Ranch Motion Picture Studio to its original glory. At the time, they also owned a large movie ranch in Haskell Canyon and motion picture vehicle rental business. For 21 years, Melody Ranch was home to the Santa Clarita Cowboy Festival. And today, the ranch is very active with television, commercial, and video filming, once the set for Deadwood and now Westworld. And through their ownership of Melody Ranch, the Veluzats have shared their childhood fascination for Western films with the next generation. And we are thrilled to add these 2 Santa Clarita locals to the Western Walk of Stars and have them with us today. And at this time, I'd like to ask both Assemblymember Acosta and Mayor Pro Tem West to provide some recognition as well. Assemblymember?
Well, thank you very much. It's a little different being here and not being on the city council. And I'm really truly honored to be able to represent such wonderful constituents and friends. Both Renaud and his brother Andre have become good friends, and they do a wonderful job at Melody Ranch, and we're truly honored to have them in our community, continuing to press and foster the community. I do want to make one correction for Mayor Smyth in addition to the pronunciation of your name. So my dad has a star as well, a saddle as well, right down the street. So he forgot to mention Rodolfo Acosta. So you forget that. John Wayne, yeah, I mentioned. We could keep going. We could keep going. You didn't forget. You know I'd mention it. You know I'd mention it. Okay. Yeah. He said, "Well, you don't have one, so there you go." I said, "Okay, there you go." But it truly is fantastic. I am blessed to serve on the Arts and Entertainment Committee, continuing to foster in Sacramento, to continue to foster in the state legislature the importance of film and entertainment and the tourism industry for the entire region, frankly. But the 38th Assembly District has, last count, about a dozen movie ranches and studios and sound stages facilities, and it's really truly remarkable that our community is highlighted so much. We even have a recent TV show that's titled Santa Clarita Diet, so if you haven't seen that, that's interesting. But to the Veluzats, I wanted to just say thank you so much for your continued leadership in the community, and present you with these certificates from my office as you're being inducted into the Walk of Western Stars here in Newhall, California.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Pleasure.
Hope I got them reversed, didn't I?
That's okay.
It's all right.
Thanks.
At least you won't mix them up. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. Good job. Let's get a picture here. Turn them around. Show them there. There we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good job. Thank you.
Okay.
Angry.
So here we are. So I just want to introduce you to these two guys, the way I know them. They are truly cowboys. They can ride and rope and brand with the best of them, and they are rugged, and I consider them not only friends but extended family. And I love them both, and I'm very proud to see them inducted today because they carry forth the legacy and the heritage of what this valley is, and you are in the most prominent Southern California area for filming and movie ranching and cowboys and first gold and first oil. This is the place. Quick story, we all love Melody Ranch and it's pretty special. So we're ready to have our first Cowboy Festival in 1994, and then nature took a little course and we had a little earthquake. Right. And the location, which was the auditorium, had a little asbestos problem. And I got a call, and Andre and Renaud to the rescue. We're happy to open up Melody Ranch to the city, and the rest is history. It was a phenomenal success, and here I am today, 24 years later, having the best festival, Western heritage in cowboy country in the nation. So I'm pretty proud of both of these gentlemen, and they deserve to be here. Give them a big hand. Congratulations to Andre and Renaud Veluzat being inducted into the Western Walk of Fame here in 2017. They are awesome, they are the best, and we're very proud of them.
There we go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah? You guys are up. You're not
Well,
Say a few words.
say a few words. Never turn a pastor loose
Uh-oh.
behind a microphone. But I do recall
Amen.
65 years ago, I come out of Saugus off of a cattle ranch where I grew up, chasing one of our bulls that got loose all the way into this town and tied him to a telephone pole right past the old Safeway store. And the sheriffs come out and says, when are you going to move this bull? I said, when we can get the old truck started. But that was years and years ago. And I never dreamed I'd be in this Western Walk of Fame. But it's an honor. And I can remember my first car, which I still have, which I sold my brother.
I got it.
28 Model A. I'm coming down through Newhall. And I was about 11, and we had some spies telling us where the 3 sheriffs was, so I could make it over to that Rexall drugstore on the corner, get one of them big malts for 20 cents, and then sneak back home through Pete's cornfield. But anyway, it's an honor once again to receive this. But I never dreamed that this would ever happen many, many years ago. But dreams never die. If you let the dust get on them, they will. But I always keep dreams moving, and I think this is great. And Renaud, you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, well, when we was in high school, we used to drive up and down this street so many times all around this town, and I never thought we'd ever be in the sidewalk. Totally, and I really appreciate it. It's an honor for us to have this, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I just got a chance to shake Bo's hand a few minutes ago, which we worked together on Rockford Files. He did 3 or 4 shows on that, and he hasn't changed. Where are you at, brother? And he's still good and still young in heart. But anyway, I'm honored again once to be here.
Well, thank you. And as I said, just logistically, after we present Bo, then we'll move over and do the unveilings together. Certainly, our next recipient here is Bo Hopkins. Bo has been in over 100 films, 34 of them being Westerns. He started his acting career playing rough and rowdy cowboys, and eventually in the 80s and 90s played more roles as the small town sheriff. Some of his iconic roles include appearances in Western TV shows like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Virginian, and The Wild Wild West, not to mention The Rockford Files. He also appeared in many other Western films, including The Wild Bunch, Monty Walsh, and The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing. In 1995, he was the recipient of the Golden Boot Award, an acknowledgement of achievement for individuals who have made significant contributions to the genre of Western television and movies. And we are also honored to welcome Bo Hopkins to the Western Walk of Stars, and I would like to invite he, as well as, again, Assemblymember Acosta, to the podium to say a few words and receive a few honorees. So, Assemblymember, you're up first.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, it just goes to show you that how many people we can continue to bring up that have made an incredible impact on the entertainment industry here in Southern California and in this region. And Bo is no exception. And you've done had an amazing career and done an amazing job promoting your craft and continue to do that. I mean, I know you've lived down in the North Hollywood area for decades and decades, so you can still there. Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming up here, and on behalf of my office and the California State Legislature, I'd like to welcome you on up. Come on up. I'll present you with a certificate. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. One more. Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
Got one more for you.
One more.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to bring up Councilmember McLean as well.
Hop along in.
Hop on,
Yeah, I was
Cassie.
like, hop along. Whoops.
It's the not so golden boot.
Yeah, no, okay, I'll just do it this way. This is a wonderful culmination of a wonderful weekend of our 24th Cowboy Festival. I am so honored and happy that our city is taking such a role in making sure that our film heritage, which is quite substantial here in Santa Clarita, and is such a wonderful thing to have. And I'm honored that you're here to accept this. And I just want to say once again, our Western Walk of Stars is helping to create a new Newhall and Old Town Newhall, and just thank you so much for being here. We're very happy and honored that you're here to accept this award.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Uh-huh. Hey.
That's the shot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Here, Bo, let me grab this.
Okay. Thank you.
Trade places with you.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's welcome Bo Hopkins to the podium, our newest honoree.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over the years, I shot a few pictures out this way, so I'm glad to be out here for good now. Better to be on top than the bottom. This is a great honor, and I certainly appreciate it, because anytime you can be on the street with William S. Hart and Roy and Bill and Gene, it's a real honor. When I first got into Hollywood, I got a job parking cars at the Continental Hotel, and I was going to Desi Lou at that time. I got a scholarship, and Gene Autry owned the hotel at that time, so we got free angel tickets. And even though Tommy Lasorda's wife is from Greenville, where I was born and raised in Greenwood, I was an Angel fan. This is when they were losing all the time. And I don't know if it's fate or what, but I was there the night that they beat San Francisco. And it was surreal. I said, is this it? No, I've been suffering too long. But he was a great man. I enjoyed, I met him, and Rod Carew was one of my dearest friends. He gave me his 1981 All-Star ring, and I'll wear it. And I was doing Dynasty at that time, and the whole crew was chasing me around trying to get my ring. This is a big honor. I thank you for coming out. I hope my star won't happen as bad as Donald Trump's star, so keep an eye on him. Again, I have filmed out this way. I did a Rockford Files out this way. I did a Rodeo Girl with Catherine Ross out this way. So I come from a small town, so it's great to have my my star out here, because in Hollywood it costs you $45,000, and I thought I'd get some chalk and just put my name on there. Anyway, I want to thank you very, very much for this honor, and I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I hope you all have a great time during the rest of the show. Thank you very much.
I appreciate, Bo, I knew I liked you because I too was at the same game when the Angels beat the Giants. And like you, our family became Angel fans because of my grandfather's love for Gene Autry. And again, when I was a kid, Rod Carew was my favorite player, and I had my own, autograph of Rod Carew. So, I'm glad he's doing better now too. That's a great story. So, I know we could talk baseball, but that's not why we're here, especially how the Angels are doing right now, so we don't really want to talk about that. But, so, thank you all again so much for being here. At this time, this is what why we're really here, is for the official unveiling of the stars. So, here we go. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There it is.
And you gotta spell it right.
Did we spell it right?
It's spelled right.
All right. That's important. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Green, you want to grab that corner? Yep. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome out here this evening to the VIP reception for Mr. Bo Hopkins and also Andre and Renaud Veluzat. My name's Ed Masterson. I'm going to be serving as your MC for tonight. We're going to have some film clips up here. We're going to start with Mr. Hopkins. He'll be our first person we bring up on stage. We're going to look at some film clips highlighting his career, and it's pretty amazing. I had some notes I had to make for the event just so I wouldn't goof it up, and there's a lot of credits on here, things that Mr. Hopkins has done. So we're going to give the video folks a chance to queue up all the video stuff here in a moment. We'll show the video pieces for you so you can see them. Then we'll bring a couple directors' chairs out front, and I'll do some Q&A with Mr. Hopkins. And if time permits, we'll let some of you in the audience ask some questions as well. So I know our gentlemen up in the booth are good on sound. And do you think a thumbs up maybe on the video as well? Or do they need a couple more seconds? Okay, good, we're good. So there you go, that was the official, we're good. So if you direct your attention to the screen behind me, I'll step out of the way so you can see it. But let's take a quick look at some video clips highlighting the career of Mr. Bo Hopkins.
Hey, Will. Yeah.
Worried about any Indians?
What Indians?
All right, so we're I think if Mr. Hopkins put a gun on me and told me to sing a song, I would do it right away for sure. I think we're going to bring a couple chairs out here to the front of the stage, and Mr. Hopkins, if you don't mind joining me up here, we'll get a chair going, and let's bring him up here with a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Here, sir, I'll give you that microphone. I'll have you sit right about there. How's that? And I'll drag this other chair. Is that all right, Mike? We drag these over this way? Okay, good. I think so. Whoops, I'm up on your cable there. I'll get messed up. There we go. Okay, good deal. All right. Okay, so I had to write these things down so I wouldn't goof them up like I said before, because your list of credits, and I'm going to read them here, some of them. I won't be able to get through all of them because they're so numerous, but I'm going to read a few of them off here because they are so impressive. just saw a clip there from The Wild Bunch, of course, directed by the great Sam Peckinpah and starring a host of Hollywood luminaries. Also directed by Mr. Peckinpah, The Getaway, another picture you did with him, and a third picture you did with him as well, The Killer Elite. Now, The Getaway and The Killer Elite, not exactly Westerns, but let me run you down some of the Westerns in Mr. Hopkins' resume here. And again, this partial list, there are other ones. Wild Bunch, Monty Walsh, Gone to Texas, The Ballad of Little Joe, Wyatt Earp, Return to Tombstone. I gotta put my glasses on, sorry. I was trying to do it without my glasses, but I can't. Vanity got the better of me there. The Culpeper Cattle Company, The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing, A Small Town in Texas, Rodeo Girl, Down the Long Hills, which is a Louis L'Amour piece, The Last Ride of the Dalton Gang, Cheyenne Warrior, From Dusk Till Dawn Part 2, Cowboy Up, The Invasion of Johnson County, South of Heaven, West of Hell, Macho Callahan, Big Bad John, Painted Hero, and Shaughnessy the Iron Marshal, another Louis L'Amour piece. And those are pictures. And then on television, as you saw up here, again, a partial list, appearances on Gunsmoke, The Andy Griffith Show, The Virginian, The Rat Patrol, great show, Ironside, Hawaii Five-0, The Mod Squad, The A-Team, Dynasty, Hotel, Matt Houston, Scarecrow and Mrs. King, Matlock, The Rockford Files, Charlie's Angels, and then other feature films, as I said, The Getaway, American Graffiti, of course, White Lightning, The Day of the Locust, The Killer Elite, Midnight Express, More American Graffiti, Sweet 16. Now, if that's not an impressive resume for an actor in Hollywood, I don't know what else. And in addition to all of that, Mr. Hopkins also served his country well in the Army's 101st Airborne Division during the Korean War. So let's give him a nice round of applause. So at times I get a bit verbose. I'm going to put that under wraps and make sure that you do all the talking tonight. But of all these Western pictures that we mentioned here, is there one that sticks out in your mind that you had the best experience on, or is there several of them in the favorite category there for that type of thing?
Well, let me clear one thing up. I wasn't there during the Korean War. I was there in 1956. So we were still fighting each other. I wish I'd have stayed now. No. It's hard to pick. You know, I've been so blessed to work with some great actors and directors and all. I'm sort of like the person, everybody's got a first love. Wild Bunch was my first picture, so I got to work with great actors, heroes, and so I think that if I had to pick one out of all of them, it'd have to be just like your first love. I'm on the set watching them work, and Peckinpah want me to shoot a gun off, you know. Yeah, I'll do it. And I should have known when I was in service, you never volunteer for anything. So, but again, you know, I enjoyed doing Culpeper. It was a lot of fun. All the Westerns, Posse with Kirk Douglas, watching him direct in his underwear and standing on a horse. You know, it's funny because I guess 8, 9 years ago, I never thought I'd done that much. My daughter kept saying, you know, you should look on the, I never go to the computer unless I have to, all these movies there. And there's some more that I'm glad's not on there. But yeah, if I had to pick one now, I did a show and all my friends went. It was called Kansas City Massacre, where I played Pretty Boy Floyd, and Dale Robinson was in it, who I later did, you know, Dynasty with. And we had more fun on that because we'd be shooting the Tommy guns and bullets not going anywhere, and the dust flyers, you know, the bullets they shoot. So all my friends were on that, and we just had a great time. Most of the movies you do, it starts out, you're just glad to be there, and then halfway through, He said, who would I got to see to get off this movie? That's been very few, though. Very, very, very few. I know that when we were doing the Man Who Loved Cat Dancing, my mother, I was in Spain filming with Richard Harris, Riata, and my mother got sick in South Carolina, and so Warner Brothers let me fly home, and she had cancer, and Richard Harris had already sent her these records that he did, you know, and poetry. I thought that was just great of him. And I think when I was doing the Man Who Loved Cat Dancing, my mother died. I had told Bert and the director my mother was sick and I might have to go home, so you better cast somebody else, and they wouldn't do it. So she died 2 weeks into the picture, so we shot 3 days ahead so that I could catch a plane. Hell, I was all right till all the crews come up and they're crying and got me to crying. So, and Bert loaned me his suit to fly home. So those things you remember, and there are very, very few actors, because, and the reason I'm saying that is every time I did a movie with Peckinpah, which was 3, we were doing Killer Lead up in Frisco, and the first day we were reading around a table, and there's Jimmy Kahn and Burt Young and all of us. Before he started, Peckinpah said, okay, I want you to look to the left and look to the right, because on every movie there's one I'm looking, you know, hope he isn't talking about me. So, there's very few actors that I've worked with. There are a few, but I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus. I already did that. No, I'm kidding. But this business is very, very tough and politically inclined. Sorry about that, Trump. But I think if you're, now most people think, you know, hell, I went to summer stock, I went to New York, I parked cars for Gene Autry, I was going to Desilu at night, and I was doing a play. So, you know, it took me almost 25 years to figure out I had to pay some dues. But I've been so blessed and lucky, you know, with the people I worked with. Stanley Kramer, I did the Court Martial Lieutenant Calley. And God, that was a big thrill, because he's such a great director, and he kept calling me Steamboat, you know, would come in. I said to Edie, his secretary, I said, God, I got all this dialogue and I don't think he likes me. She said, no, when he gives you a nickname, he really likes you. I said, oh, good. So that was it. But a lot of stunt guys too I worked with over the years. Had great times with them, and a few fights I have been in. It's all with the stunt guys taking me into town, getting drunk. And I used to, I drank quite a bit in the 70s. I must admit, I enjoyed it. Riding your car over to the Playboy Mansion, going in and passing out before you can meet anybody. No.
Pretty tough work then in the 70s, right? Yeah,
pretty
kind of a tough time.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Just looking at the Wild Bunch and the cast that you were in with that picture, it seems like, again, you know, being somebody who grew up with movies all my life and loving them, it seems like you worked with a cast, and yourself included in this. What I'm about to say is sort of that post golden era of Hollywood, where those stars and those performers came up at a time when performers understood sort of the value of being very professional and showing up on time and doing their job and working hard and that kind of thing. I mean, guys like Ben Johnson and Robert Ryan, and William Holden and Warren Oates and everybody, Ernest Borgnine, that cast is unbelievable, and yourself included as well. Did it feel at the time when you were doing that, was it intimidating at all to have that be your first big picture, to be working with all those big names, guys that have been in the business for quite a long time?
Oh, God, yeah. Geez, Dub Taylor stayed up all night with me when I found out Peckinpah wanted me to learn the whole 2 verses of Shall We Gather at the River. God almighty, we was up at 1 in the morning, and I'm marching around the kitchen with a broomstick and singing, "Yes, we should gather at the river." And I woke up Ben and a few other people. But yeah, God, that's why I tried to go on the set every day, even when they were working, so I could watch them. Ernest Borgnine was like a father to me till the day he died. God, I loved him. I loved Bill Holden and Robert Ryan and Warren Oates. They were all just great to me, because we were filming and I got hit in the scene where I shoot the guys right after I say that wonderful line. And so I shoot camera left, camera right, and then camera center. Well, the camera was covered. Peckinpah was over here behind. Everything was covered because I'm firing that way. And I got hit. I shot the first one, the second one, and the second one, a piece of wood got me above the eyelid. And if you've ever been in fights and things like that, you bleed like a stuck hog. And I said, and I'm thinking to myself, God, my first movie, and I'm going to be Sammy Davis Jr. No, I'm saying. And Peckinpah was right there, and he said, "Are you in?" I said, "Is my eye in?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Okay, that's a wrap." And I was squibbed up. I had wires running up my legs and the back and the butt across here. And I said, "No, sir, I just soon go on and finish it now." He said, "What do you want to drink?" I said, "Anything. I got a damn tequila, I downed it." And the thing about it, I never told him, was I wasn't trying to be a hero or anything. I just didn't want to come back and have to do that all over again. But Bill Holden took me out to the dinner. He bought my girlfriend at that time a honcho, and couldn't have been nicer. And I got to see him over the years when we were doing, my second picture I was doing, the Bridge of Remagen, and the Russians invaded halfway through it. And my girlfriend at that time was studying French at the University of Geneva. And I'm thinking, God damn, my second movie, and I'm going to get killed in Czechoslovakia. And Holden sent a telegram, said, "Don't worry, as soon as you finish this, I'll have you one in Bulgaria." No, I don't think so. But Robert Ryan, there was a guy on the set who wanted to interview me. Well, I'd never been interviewed, and Robert Ryan said, "Oh, I'll take care of it for you." And there was a whole big article in North Hollywood paper about that Robert Ryan did. I didn't say anything. So it was just a big honor, big honor. I think, and this is my opinion, I think now I'm writing a book now about my life. It's only 1 page, but from whence I think actors forget from whence they came, and they're making money and they're doing a television series or whatever, buy a new house, new car, and then in 2 years they got to sell it all back because they're in love with themselves. They're not in love with the business. That's just my opinion. And I think, thank you, Mama. So I think you're blessed to have I think everybody's born with a gift, and some people never find it, and some people never look for it. And then those that do, it might be a little late, but that's what happened to me. I found out later. All my buddies went to college. Hell, I got kicked out of school in the 8th grade. That'll be in the book. So, but I've been, like I say, blessed, and Gunsmoke. God, that was my first TV show. Man, I looked it too. God, my.
Was it exciting back in the old days when you were doing westerns, when TV westerns were all the go, and there was a lot of them on television? Was it exciting to get cast on those shows that, you know, were the standards of the day, Bonanza, Gunsmoke, The Virginian, High Chaparral, all those old shows? Was that kind of and you had done a big feature first. Was in those days, did TV feel kind of on an equal plane? Or was it just good to be working, and you sort of just loved the work, and that was kind of the thing, the actor thing, just wanted to keep working?
Well, once I started, I did a Gunsmoke, and then I did a Virginian, and then I did a Wild Wild West. And first day on the show, Robert Conrad was trying to get in shape to box somebody downtown. I'd never met him, but he come walking, you know, toward me. He had a blonde under each arm, you know. I said, God almighty, this ain't no Western. This is but I got to know him later. Thank God I beat him at a Charlton Heston celebrity shoot. And we both tied, and I beat him and won a gun. Hell, he's like Trump. He'd never let me forget it. So, but once I started doing motion pictures, I wanted to sort of stay there, which I did for a while. But then I was shooting Rodeo Girl with Captain Ross, and she was going with Sam at that time. And I'd met Sam before. We did Aspen together. And so, what was I talking about?
About how Robert Conrad had a blonde under each arm.
Oh, yeah. No,
just kidding. Sorry, just kidding.
Whitey Hughes, a very good friend of mine, and his brother were great stunt guys. In fact, he was in the Wild Bunch, and he and Conrad were. They were all drinking at a table across the street, you know, from CBS. Anyway, Conrad thought he was in shape, and he said something to Whitey 2 times, and Whitey reached across and knocked him on his butt, so he got fired. But and God bless Robert Conrad now. He had a terrible accident, you know, he's not the same. And so, but I did, when they offered me Dynasty, I turned it down, and my agent called back in 30 minutes and said, look, they're gonna pay you such and such. I said, God almighty. Well, so I decided to do it because Jackie Cooper, who was directing the picture at that time, said, look, do this thing because it's a pilot. How many pilots have you done? Well, I did Cap Ballou, and I did a couple more, right. And they didn't go. So he was right. I did Dynasty, and the first year, on one hand, I'm thinking, please don't go, and on the other hand, I'm thinking, think of the money you'd make. And I'm sitting in the makeup, and these people come running through and say, hey, we sold for 13. We sold for 13. And I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or you know, think of the money. No, there've been a few pictures where I've thought of the money, but that was I would have been a fool to turn down, because Matthew Blaisdell was the writer and producer, said he took that as a cross between John Wayne and Montgomery Clift and Red River. So that's one of my favorite movies, so I accepted that.
So have you seen, Mr. Hopkins, over the years, like, and again, you've got the great, your career has spanned a period of time that has let you see now these progression over the decades. Would you say that when you first got into the business and the people you were working with, whether they were the directors, the crew guys, the actors, the stunt people, the wranglers, all the people that make pictures go, compared to today, for example, would you say there's less of an appreciation on the part of a lot of people that have good fortune in the business, and in the old days, people appreciated their good fortune more, or is that not a fair statement, would you say?
Well, it's like I was saying a while ago, actors are, I mean, God, we got a million actors and maybe 5,000 work. That's pretty damn good odds. Excuse me. I watch Turner Classic Movies because I love old movies. I love the old days. I come along just at the end of an era. And today it's all different. Almighty, you go to a movie today and all you see is dynamite, blow-ups, monsters that are, I don't know where the hell they come from. Things on television like The Walking Dead. That never scared me. You know what scared me when I was growing up was the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. Hell, I'd walk home at night after the movie and all my buddies, we'd scatter to go our different ways, and I'm looking behind every bush trying to get to the house quick as I can. And that was scary to me. I think, see, the old movies, you could see what was going to happen with a couple. You didn't have to see it, you know, like porno, which, you know, I'll watch. But it left something to the imagination. You know, the first form of the stage or the movies was in biblical times because they used to have a storyteller. Everybody would get around a rock and he'd tell a story and you'd listen, and that was the first form of acting. Again, a lot of actors today I don't think appreciate from where they come from. They forget about that. I could never forget about that because that's what drove me. And I went to actor studio, you know. I never tore my t-shirt off or nothing like that. It's according to a person's own ability to what they conceive of themselves as an actor. Right. Acting is not acting.
How did you get the name Bo? Because I know that's not your given name. So can you tell us how you came up with that name, Bo?
Well, when I got to New York, Columbia said, you got to change your name. And hell, I'd always been known as Billy Hopkins. I mean, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I said, but I was doing a play off Broadway called Bus Stop. And the guy, the lead, which I played, was named Bo. So I said, well, Bo and Billy kind of sound alike. So I went with Bo, and hell, I've been working ever since. So I kissed Billy goodbye.
Is it kind of fun for you to see people, you know, you worked on American Graffiti with George Lucas early on in his career, and played the part of Joe, of course, the head of the Pharaohs, which is such a great role and such a great picture. Is it kind of fun to see these folks that you worked with early on in their careers and see what they've done since then, and just, you know, watch a lot of these people go on and accomplish a lot of other things?
Well, you know, Dreyfus was prematurely gray when we were doing graffiti. And we used to get in arguments over, you know, he was a Republican, I was a Democrat, and we'd have good arguments. I mean, but in American Graffiti, all of us had work, but not, you know, like stars or anything like that. And I actually, when we were filming it, I just finished doing, I think at 20th I was doing, hell, I'll think of it in a minute. But we were on, get me back on track.
With American Graffiti, Richard Dreyfuss, yeah.
Anyway, is it Jimmy or Tom? No, I'm kidding. American Graffiti, I didn't think would make a drive-in. because see, when we were filming, we didn't hear the music. We just filming, talking, whatever. And I was actually visiting Peckinpah at MGM when I had to go to a screening of Graffiti. I hadn't seen it. And Coppola was there, you know, all that damn place was packed, and so I had to sit in an aisle. Didn't matter to me, I had a few anyway. And then when the music came up, I mean, people were like standing up. Well, I grew up on that music. I mean, in South Carolina, I was down at Myrtle Beach shagging like hell. And I think that it became popular because it's Americana. I mean, I get fan mail from Australia, Japan, France, or whatever, and that's how we actually grew up. Hearing all the great rock and roll, you know, songs and things, and the music made the movie, and the movie made the music. So I think it was just it was just something that come together.
Yeah, no, it was. I think you're right. I think the two complement each other. So the picture gives the music its opportunity, and vice versa.
I think I should have retired after the Wild Bunch and Graffiti. Then I could have gone out on top.
No, that's not true. With this list of credits, no, not even close. I think maybe we got time for a question or two from the audience. If anybody out there has a question, we probably can't see if you raise your hand, but I'll try real hard. So does anybody in the audience have a question maybe? I see a lady to my left right there in the middle. Yes, ma'am.
When you're looking at movie scripts, what is your criteria for saying yes to a movie or no to a movie?
Money. I'll read a script and I don't know, a lot of times I didn't want to have to play the same part twice. You know, I mean, too much like the other one. But when you're working, I don't think you think about it that much. You just want the job. So, you know, I've had to go in and read for a lot of things that I didn't think I'd get, but I got. And I think it has to do with the character. What can I do with this character? How can I always love Wallace Beery, because no matter what kind of a part he played, you liked him. He could be the meanest, ugliest son of a bitch in the world, but you liked him. And that's kind of like I wanted to play different characters that I played.
Thank you.
That's great.
Well,
I see a gentleman up there, I believe, or maybe it's on the aisle there. Yes, sir.
Since we're in Newhall and Melody Ranch has played a big role in the Cowboy Festival over the years, did you do any filming there in particular, and can you recall any stories or experiences that you might have had here in Newhall and or at Melody Ranch?
Well, I didn't do, must be my agent. I filmed in Palmdale. I filmed in, we did a Rockford file around here. I did a Doc Elliott, which was one of the first series that I did, playing a bush pilot with Jimmy Franciscus, and we shot a lot of stuff out here. God damn it, I thought I cut it off. Turn it down. I know. Yeah. Well, I happen to like the North Koreans. Trump is. Let's see, where was I?
Let's see. James Franciscus shooting out here in Newhall.
Yeah, I have filmed out here, and like I said today, I come from a small town in South Carolina, so a lot of movies I've done, we film in small towns, and I always like that, because when you stop and think about it, every town has a story, and every person in that town has a story. So I enjoy meeting people like that.
That's great. Anybody else real quick with a question? I'm sorry, let me just put the thing up so I can see y'all. Yes, ma'am, right there in the middle on the right side. Yes.
Did you play a sheriff in Bonanza?
I played a sheriff in a small town in Texas, and also on Bonanza. When I did one of those, I was an outlaw, a good outlaw. Yeah, I've played, but I've played a lot of sheriffs later in my career. You see, it's like Jack Elam, one of my dearest friends. God bless him. Jack, when he first started out, of course, he was always the bad guy. You know, he got one eye going that way, one this way. And actually, when I did the pilot of Cat Ballou, he was Kid Shalene. And one morning we were coming in the film, and I hadn't seen Jack in makeup. And Leslie Ann Warren and I walked in, and Jack just laying there, you know, he was passed out, and we walk up, and I said, "This is Kid Shalene, huh?" And she says, "Well, he might be sick." And all of a sudden, Jack's head comes up, and he got one eye going here. I'll have one more, he says. And we started laughing. God Almighty, I couldn't stop. But as soon as he did a comedy, Support Your Local Sheriff, changed his whole career. And he was a great guy. God, he could whip you in poker all night long. So I enjoyed working with him.
Okay, well, Mr. Hopkins, we appreciate you for a couple things. We appreciate you for who you are and for coming out today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're a classy gentleman, and you've had an amazing career, and we're just honored to be able to share this evening as part of the finale for this year's Cowboy Festival, and it's very kind of you to come out, and it's an honor to meet you, and thank you so much for all the entertainment you've given us over the years, and for being such a classy member of the Hollywood community, since you give movies a good name and TV shows a good name. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm reading a script now. If they come up with the money, I might come out of retirement. Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we are going to introduce the video clips for our next honorees, Andre and Renaud Veluzat, who are here, and as all of you know, or I'm guessing all of you know, but I shouldn't assume that, I guess. They are the owners of Melody Ranch, which has been the home for the Cowboy Festival for the first 20 plus years of the event. They are so busy with filming and doing so well, of course, that the festival's been here at Old Town Newhall this year and last year as well. But we're going to roll the video clips for them, and then we'll have Andre and Renaud come up on stage, and we'll ask them a few questions, have them tell a few stories as well, because they've got some great history here in the Valley, and we're honored to have them here with us tonight and have a chance to spend time with them. So if the video folks are ready to go, we'll show the clips. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please welcome here to the stage and join me in welcoming our next two honorees, Andre and Renaud Veluzat, the owners of Melody Ranch. Well, I somehow misplaced my glasses in between Mr. Hopkins' presentation and this, so I'll do the best I can. But great trailer up there with all the clips from a lot of the different shows that have been done out there, of course. And I think probably the best way for me to do this, because I know you've got a lot of information, and I love for you to tell the different stories and history of the studio. But I just go over a couple things so the audience, some of the things they may or may not be aware of. But Gene Autry owned Melody Ranch for a number of years. There was a fire out there at the property in 1962 when he still owned it. I believe you purchased the ranch from him in 1990, and then in 1991 set about recreating the Western sets that had been destroyed during that fire in 1962. And I'll just throw out all these little bits and pieces, and then we can let you kind of go from there. And as young men, kids and teenagers, you would be sort of looking through the fence at all the Western things that were being shot out there at the property when you were sneaking in. I love that. That's great. And I guess for those of us that love Western history and how feature films and TV shows have helped to document the Western history of the country, and specifically out here in the Santa Clarita Valley, it's kind of enticing to have you here because you grew up out here in the area. You, as young men, had a desire to be involved in the film business, and I know you were as young men as well, and then end up purchasing the property, which I know is a great story of how you came to know it was for sale and kind of bought it. So I'd like to let you go, if it's okay, to, and also mention to the audience that the property, if I'm not mistaken, as early as 1915, that was being used for filming as a location setting, which at the time, if you can think about it, that's over 100 years ago. Quite a drive from where the main studios were located. Universal City opened up in 1915 in its current location, and if you think about coming out from Universal City out to the location where you are now, back in those days with the roads being what they are and transportation and all that, very impressive that that piece of property has been so historic, and it's such an iconic piece of filming geography throughout the course of the film industry here in Southern California. It's kind of amazing. I love that. I used to work for Universal Studios. I was a VIP tour guide down there for years, and I worked as a production coordinator on TV shows, and so it's especially intriguing to me, and I guess I'll just go ahead and let you do it. I'll cue you up with some questions so it's not so open-ended, but can you tell us, please, the story of how you found out? Well, first of all, tell us what it was like being young men here, growing up in the Valley, and seeing things being shot there, and how that affected you as kids.
Well, when we grew up here in town, there was only a stop sign. There wasn't even a red and green light. So the first red and green light went in over here at Newhall Avenue and Lyons Avenue, Newhall and Lyons, right there. And so we've been around here a while and watched everything kind of change, and so we had to change with it, I guess. That's what happens.
When you guys were kids growing up here, was there always a lot of film activity happening out here in the Valley in a variety of spots, or most of it was focused over here at the Melody Ranch property where you have now?
Well, they was filming. We never paid too much attention to too much of that back then. Here, Andre.
We did that. We watched that big, I don't know, we lined up here one year, I forget what year it was, where they foamed this street out here, San Fernando Road, where this big, great plane was going to come in, and they put foam everywhere. We waited till 3 o'clock in the morning, and we just couldn't wait them out. But they did come in, and we did I forget the name of the show, but then we did another show. We didn't do it, but there was a show filmed out by Henry Mayo Hospital. They used these 59 Plymouths, and they built a gas station with hundreds of people come around waiting to blow. They were going to blow this gas station up. I don't know if they ever got to it till the next day. But that's how. But there's been a lot of filming in this town. They've filmed at the Saugus when the railroad depot was up in Saugus, and Indian Dunes took a big part in filming, and then into Ranch. When Renaud purchased the ranch, he bought it on a Sunday. I was in church, and I got out of church, and he told me, "Guess what I did?" I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "We bought Gene Autry." I said, "What?" Man, I was so excited, man. I said, "Hey, we're going back. We're gonna get over there." And then the first film I think was filmed there when it was Murder, She Wrote.
Oh.
And then
The very first show after we bought the property.
right. And then what was filmed there when the when the fire did come through in '62, Gene was filming Combat.
Right.
And it was Vic Morrow, and then the county had them clean it all up and everything. They were filming a lot in there with that.
So you were, I love the story about how you, if I'm not mistaken, you said that the great thing about Mr. Autry was that when you made the deal with him to purchase the studio while Renaud was in church, or no, you were in church, excuse me, and Renaud made the deal with him on basically on a handshake, which struck me when I was hearing that story and seeing the video piece about it, that the gentleman from the Autry Museum who's here this evening, I was watching his interview with you. I love the fact that you made a deal of that magnitude on a handshake, and the point of the story was that Mr. Autry was such a gentleman and such an old school guy that was trustworthy, that was still a time when you could do that with somebody of his character and of course your own character as well. I love that part of the story, that it was done initially on a handshake to make that happen. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's true. That's how my dad always taught us, you know, just be honest with everybody and treat them fair. And if you make a deal, you honor that deal. And so when we bought the ranch from Gene, it was one of those kind of things. He was like that same type of person, you know. And so we took the ranch over in 1990, December of 1990, and we had about 9. We wanted to we told Gene Autry we was going to rebuild it, and we wanted to create it just like it was in 1962 when it burnt down. So we come up with 9 photographs of the street, and that we could get a hold of, and then we started comparing sizes and things so we could get it just right. We wanted to. And none of the guys that worked for us at the time, because we were doing Army movies and things like that with tanks and trucks and stuff. So we brought all of our mechanics and guys over, and we started building the town.
Throw away the level.
And we didn't have a level. And so we didn't need we just got back and sized it out.
So no plans, no architectural plans or any schematics, you just kind of did it from sight based on the photographs?
We just had 9 photographs. Wow. And we had there was one picture, you know, this big tall guy. And so we kind of figured he was about 6 feet tall. So we kind of scaled it off, and I'd get back with a stick, and Andre would measure it up, and we'd go up to the size of the buildings, which was 35 feet. Wow. And so to the peaks. And so it'd come out to be like full scale. So the street, and after we got building this street, what we found out from those pictures was every one of the faces of the buildings were designed where wherever you put a camera in the town, it would pick up the face of that building. So all the buildings, if you ever, when next time you guys are over or anybody comes over, notice the faces of the buildings are all on an angle, all the way down on both sides of the street. And that's how they figured it out years ago. And so we thought, well, gee, that was really, you know, important thing for filming.
So it gives a better visual texturing to the street as you look down the street, right?
You pick up the fronts,
yeah,
and see the perspective of it.
And is that story true that when the fire happened in '62, that Elvis Presley was out there doing a photo shoot and he kind of pitched in and helped the firemen try to put that out and did the best they could to?
Andre knows about that. In fact, we still have the newspaper clipping.
You know what's interesting? About 4 months ago, the fireman that I saw him, and he's still living, that was there, that saved the old house that W.C. Fields did in May West, My Little Chickadee, put that whole back of that house out where the old well was there, and saved a piece of history. And the fireman's still living, but that's a true story. Wow. That's a good story, yeah.
That is a really good story. I love that. Did the so when you started building that and restoring it, and what was Mr. Autry was still alive at that point? What was his? You had conversations with him and get any pointers and recollections and things he had about the property?
Yeah, he'd come out and check on us about every 3 weeks to a month, and he'd say, "You boys are doing a good job." You know.
He'd come out to the ranch, and we'd have to go get our boots on real quick, and so we'd stand at the front gate, and he had a driver named Bob, and you'd see that silver Mercedes drive up to the gate, and it said GA1 on the plate, and you're thinking, wow, this is really Gene Autry, you know, this is a real deal. And so he'd come in and we'd show him the town. We was doing a movie, Wild Bill at the time. He'd come up and tell him what he told him about parking the car.
Oh, he told that driver, now, I've been on this ranch for years. These carpenters and these set decorators, they have no mercy for tires. There's probably nails and screws. Park that car over by their office and we're going to walk. He knew. But now we have magnets, you know, today for horses and stuff. But that's a fact. He was sharp as a tack.
We're still picking up nails.
Yeah, some of his nails, some old horseshoe nails, you know.
That's funny. Did the when sad day obviously when he passed away. I saw some old clips of a TV show that he was doing in 1958 where he was kind of right up and down the middle of the street, and it looks great, and it looks, you know, you nailed it, you guys, no pun intended, but you guys totally captured the look of that original street and the other adjoining areas as well. Is it, I know there's another great story that I want you to tell the crowd, because I wouldn't do it justice, but we saw the clip there from Django Unchained when they filmed out here, and I saw the interview that you gave talking about the when Mr. Tarantino came out to scout the location. So can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Oh yeah, right. In fact, I was going to mention to you that the sheriff in the town in Django, that was Tom Wopat from the Dukes of Hazzard. And so we kind of had a reunion when he got there, because we built all the General Lee cars just right down the street from this place right here. We did 229 of those cars, and they wrecked them all. Except one. Yeah, there's one somewhere. Yeah.
With the flag still on the roof.
Yeah, it's got the flag. And so my daughter and I we was waiting at the gate, and we see this Mustang drive in, this yellow Mustang, and it said it had a bumper sticker on the back. It said I think it was like Gary Cooper for president or something like that, or something. And so the people, you know how people have people, and so his people are over here telling us don't talk to him. And so we thought, well, okay, we'll just stand there and see what happens about, you know. And so when we get out, they didn't think we knew that was Quentin Tarantino, but we really did. And so we tailed along behind them, and we walked down the street, and they're looking, and all these people are hanging back and giving him some space. And so we get towards the center of town where all the saloons are, and he says, do you have any saloons here? And so I said, sure, you know, this is the saloon right here we used in Gunsmoke. It's the Long Branch. And he goes, my gosh, this is where I'm gonna do my movie. And all these people, they're all going, geez, they're looking at me because I'm talking to him. And so so he jumps up on top of the boardwalk right there and gets out, and he starts telling all these people that this is where he's going to do his show. And so we're going, I'm looking at Chantel, and she's saying, oh, boy, this is going to be good. And so he says, I want you to know that my mom and dad watched every Gunsmoke and every old Western that was made, and they watched you, Bo. And he was a Western fan, I'll tell you. And so, because he worked in a video store, so he watched everything. And so he told us that his mom and dad named him Quentin after Quint, which was Burt Reynolds' character on Gunsmoke. And that's how he got his name. And so it was really kind of neat.
That's great. Did the so the thing that I love also about the property, and having been there over the years for the festival, is that you have quite a few practical interiors inside your buildings versus, like, you know, some traditional back lots where it's just a facade with no interior. Was that do you know, was that part of the existing original thing when Mr. Autry had it? Did they have practical interiors as well? So you kind of recreated that as well to have those, which is terrific for shots when you can either come in from outside straight in or vice versa, from inside go outside. It's fantastic, and those interiors are beautiful. So that was part of the original design also, yeah?
Yeah, we put those in, and they were in there in some of the buildings when Gene had the place. But what we did, we poured a slab, because back then they didn't have those camera dollies like with all the weight and all the people. So we put them on, every building's on a slab, and some of them have breakaway doors, and you can remove a wall and shoot a camera right in there. But they're all practical for filming inside, or the walls can be gone and moved and something else. But they're all pretty strong, structurally strong. We stayed
great.
up in the wind. That wind we had that was a blessing from the Lord. We didn't blow over.
Right, and so when Mr. Autry had the property, did he have stages on the property as well, or you added all that after the fact, right?
Well, he had the one stage right there that's connected to the saloon that we have right now. We kind of duplicated that whole thing just exactly like it was. And that street going down through there was where they did Half Gun Will Travel. So that was just the period at San Francisco. So part of that building, the facades on that stage is the Half Gun Will Travel Paladin Hotel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember years ago when the festival had their gala event there in that stage connected to the entry point from the saloon, and it was so great because we had like sort of a cocktail thing initially, and then we went right into the stage, which was a great, fantastic thing. I know you're shooting Westworld over there on the property now, and you've got a period locomotive, and how many extra cars with it? Is there 2 or 3, or is it just mostly the locomotive and the coal bin? And
We have two cars and a full car and an engine, and then a push engine for a breakdown. We got 3 cars and a coal car and a caboose.
Where'd you get that train from?
Those come from Fillmore Railroad.
Oh, okay.
Dave and Ray, they supplied the trains for that show.
How do they bring those in? They bring them on trailers and then lay the track and then kind of crane them off and set them down?
We'd show them where the track can go, and we can tell them what they can do, and then the director would show us this is what he wants, and we'd give it to him. We'd bend the track right on around, and they'd bring those big engines on low beds and parts, and the low beds are set up with rails on the trailer, and they just kind of hover over the track, and they'd let that engine off and pull it off with another tractor, sit it right on the track, and then they'd push that engine forward, and they'd bring them other cars in on low beds and just set them on with cranes.
Boy,
And so they did it.
that's quite a process.
Yeah.
That's a heavy piece of machinery to bring in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Westworld, of course, incredibly popular now. So is that looking like it's kind of like Deadwood? It's going to have a pretty long run from all the
Started again the second season on the show, and it starts tomorrow actually. They're moving in the ranch and stuff. And so, in fact, I don't know how many people have seen Westworld here. Really? Yeah. We had to watch it 2 or 3 times so we could figure it out. That in the beginning on the pilot on the show, it was in the making for since 2013. So it took 3 years to do the pilot in the first 10 episodes. That's why we couldn't have the festival, because HBO, they didn't want photographs. In fact, they still have the signs up, no cameras and stuff allowed in the street and things. And so when you see the train tracks coming through, and when we watch the show, you see this train, and you really think it came from Salt Lake. Well, it was in Moab, Utah. And you think it really started over there. Right. And it comes around the corner, and there we're in town.
That's fantastic. Do they shoot some interiors there on your stages, or they do those elsewhere, the interiors for Westworld?
The interiors are all done right there.
That's great. So, I mentioned I used to be a tour guide for Universal Studios back in the old days, and one of my favorite things to do, and I'm going to segue this into a question for both of you, was to spend time kind of in the late afternoon, either on a golf cart, if I could grab one, or just walk out to the back lot and kind of walk around those sets out there, like 6 Points, Texas, and the different sets that we had on the back lot of Universal in the old days, and sort of soak up all the history and the famous people that had come to work there every day just as a normal part of their living when they were making a living as actors, directors, crew guys, whatever it was. When you go to work every day to the place you own, are you so used to it now that you don't think about stuff like that, or does it kind of hit you every day what an iconic piece of filming property that is every single day when you go there?
Well, you talk about Universal. I used to go to work at Review, and Bo talked about Stanley Kramer. I hadn't heard that name, but I worked for Stanley. I did Mad World. I did some stunts in that, and did a lot of stuff at Review, Rin Tin Tin and Virginians, and a lot of the stuff that was shot there. Andy Prine, I did Wide Country, and Renaud, you worked at Disney. He was under contract at Disney for Wonderful World of Color for years. So we were kind of like kid actors, and our mom would have to take us to school, and we'd go to lunch and this, and we'd get that $17.50 a day. That if we could get a bit part, then we were making some pretty good money. And we pretty much had a lot of parts. And I used to work at CBS. I worked with GE Theater with Ronald Reagan a lot, and Carol O'Connor. Did a lot of movies back when we were kids growing up. And then when we got into, we was always raised on a cattle ranch and loved animals and had animals and livestock, and so my father was he was a producer at Melrose and Gower Producers Studio. He was with Jack Lemmon, and he did 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and a few more with Vincent Price. But anyway, we kind of just grew into that, and then when Renaud got tied, we bought Gene Autry, the ranch from him. We wanted to put it back together and keep a piece of history together, because we know in our hearts, we used to grow up around a TV, a little green Hoffman screen, and fight and see if we could watch the Cisco Kid or the Lone Ranger, and it was always a cowboy on. Dale Robertson, Tales, did all those westerns. So we always wanted to be cowboys, but we wanted to be movie cowboys, But we like people, and that's why we did it so well that 21 years with the Cowboy Festival. There's a lot of nice people we met over the years, Mike Fleming and the staff and city of staff. They're just good people, and we want to someday have that back there at the ranch. I really would be honored to have it back.
Well, it feels great, when you step onto the property. Again, anybody that loves films, TV shows, etc., it feels kind of like hallowed ground, that so many famous actors and people of legendary status in the film business have worked there. And like I said, day to day when you go to work, and you kind of alluded to it a second ago, when your kids trying to get jobs and you get some money and go do what you want, you sort of don't realize it, I think, how lucky you are to work at a place like that. You may realize it because you own the place, but it's I think you appreciate it more after the fact, and I think it's great that you've kind of seem to appreciate it now as the fact, and that you've kept it alive. And the other thing that's so great about you gentlemen is you're such gentlemen. You're such kind, friendly, non-egotistical people to be Hollywood legends. You guys are really, again, like I said to Mr. Hopkins, you give the movie business a really good name because you're just kind and willing to help people. And
That's right. Thank
you are the kind of people that, as a kid growing up, you remind me of, guys like my dad, that were just hardworking, regular guys that appreciated what they had and always willing to help other people out as well. So I think all of our honorees tonight, Mr. Hopkins and both of you, I can't thank you enough, for being here tonight and letting us celebrate with you as a finale to the festival, but also just to thank all of you for being the people you are. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
you.
So again, we such an honor to be here tonight with our 3 inductees for this year's Walk of Western Stars. And I was reminded by Mr. Fleming from the city that there are gifts for all of you. Oh, no, you're not leaving yet, but I'm just saying that when you do walk out later on this evening, there are some gifts for you, some going away gifts for you out there in the lobby. But at this time, we're going to be lucky once again to have a third set here from the Messick Family Singers, and also, I believe, a special performance. I believe we're going to have a special performance. They might have someone sit in with them to do a little bit for me, Mr.
Yeah, coming up, Renaud.
There you go, Mr. Renaud Veluzat coming up to sit in with the Messick Family Singers.
A few years back, probably, I don't know, what was it, Renaud? About 8 years ago, maybe 9, we were able to get Renaud in an arm lock and get him up on stage, so we've talked him into doing it again. Coming up with us. And Gary's going to join us on percussion here. Thanks for joining us, Gary. yeah, so that was a fond memory of mine. Renaud and Andre always wandering around in their golf cart during the festival, and we were able to flag them down. And yeah. So Lovesick? think we can get one more out of him. San Antone, what do you get? What do you guys say? One more, Renaud. Thank you, Renaud.
Renaud Veluzat, the Messick Family Singers, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for coming out to see us tonight as we honor Mr. Bo Hopkins, Renaud, and Andre Veluzat, and our thanks to the Messick Family Singers as well. And don't forget, you have a gift out in that lobby when you go. So I'm sure we'll be out in the lobby sticking around. So thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.